So Marvin, did you play sports growing up? I know you're a military family. You probably,
Yes.
all my friends that do that, they have a tough time because they get going. They got to move and move. But did you play?
So, so it's funny. It's crazy. I was born to military parents, but I only lived in one town my entire life.
Oh,
So when I was born, we flew over from Germany to East Hartford, Connecticut, and I just lived in East Hartford. We went back to Germany for a little bit, maybe like 5. But other than that, so my grandmother and my aunt, they all lived in East Hartford. So I just stayed there. And then my mother got honorably discharged when I was 3, so she came back.
okay.
So she was in the military for 6 years. So, but I played, you know what's funny? Basketball is a sport that I was worst at. Like, like I was like a good football player and a good baseball player. I ended up playing football in high school.
Mm-hmm.
I would say like I'm like Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon, he loves hip hop with all of his heart and soul. That dude, I will never question his love for hip hop and the culture of hip hop. Never in my life.
Right.
But he's just not good at it.
Nope.
That's how I feel about basketball. I love basketball. My knowledge is vast. I love the sport. I will watch just about anything to do with somebody bouncing a ball and shooting it through a hoop. But I'm at best a good pickup basketball player.
Mm.
Like, so, yeah, so football is a sport that I played the longest, and I have a son, and I will never let him play football. Just thinking of it, just like, yeah, just thinking of it like, no, thank you. Yeah, so that's what I ended up, but I played all the, you know, what they used to call it, midget football and little league baseball and, you know, small fry basketball and all that stuff. So I was always pretty busy with sports growing up.
Yeah, basketball is my thing. That's all I could do.
Okay.
I mean, when I was growing up, Odell Beckham Sr. is from my hometown.
Did he go to Carter?
No, we played against Carter.
Man, can I ask y'all a question about Friday Night Lights?
Yeah.
Man. Go for it. It's as real as the TV show put out there.
So you know what's crazy? Never watched the TV show.
Mm-hmm.
I've read the book twice.
Yeah.
Man, nobody's happy in that book. Nobody's like,
man, ain't about to happen, it's Doc.
Man, I saw, and I reread the book last summer.
Never read the book. I need to.
Man, that book it's a great way to look at like race. Just in general, just a great way to look at it. Mm-hmm. And just to see how we're going to put like the school district lines so the black kids can play at Permian. Not the Hispanic kids. No. Y'all don't play football. Move. And they close one of the schools in Odessa down. And it just that book is almost like The Wire, the TV show. Where it's like, you can see how the politics affects the policing, which affects the streets. Like, it really felt that way. And so I just wanted to get your guys' takes just on Friday Night Lights, any of those, the TV show, the movie, the book, and how real is it compared to every Friday night in Texas in the fall?
Friday night, small towns, mid-sized towns, not as much as the big cities. Like, you know, I mean, now granted, I mean, there's a big push and Dallas and Houston. Some areas of Dallas and Houston where especially where your more prominent schools are. Yeah. You're going to see those stadiums are going to be filled, and the stadiums are college worthy. Rival some of the big time big time university stadiums. I mean, there's a couple of stadiums out here for high school football teams that look better than U of H. Look better than U of H and Rice, honestly. And but yeah, I mean, it's big. It is big in Texas. They talk about how high school football is big in Florida and California and other southern states too. Some of these other southern states too. I don't think it's as big as they try to make it out to be. At least not compared out here to Texas. And I might just be biased by it, but it's almost like, every Sunday you got to go to church. Every Friday you go into a game. Facts. It was like when I moved because I used to live in Beaumont. That's where I grew up. I grew up in Beaumont, Texas, just like about a good hour and a half to 2 hours east of Houston.
Kendrick Perkins?
And yeah.
Okay. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Big perk. Mm-hmm. But Bubba Smith too. But
from Police Academy?
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I know we play football, but I know from Police
yeah,
Academy.
exactly. A lot more people know him from Police Academy than they do with football.
Yeah.
But yeah, football is huge in the small towns, especially because, I mean, you're almost kind of like don't have that much to do but to go out there and go watch football games. And also, like I said, in some of the bigger cities too, it's all just mainly depends on like the particular program. But it's like I said, there's Friday, you're at the football game. Saturday, you're probably, out with the family at the park or just, doing something outside recreational. And then Sunday, you at church. It's like, so it's almost just as sacrilege for you not to be at a football game on Friday night as it is to not be at church on Sunday morning.
Exactly.
It's big.
Yeah. Odessa Permian was almost 8 hours from Marshall. And that wasn't the issue. The issue was, are we playing there or are they playing here? Nobody cared. Right. So, we go play them, play Carter. It was, I can remember being young and teachers saying, I had my lesson plans out. We were supposed to have a test this Friday, but we won't be doing that. So we're going to play Carter. We're going to play somebody. Even if it's at home, it's like, we could take it. They were just like, no, that was back, they roll a VCR in there and put a movie on. I was like, oh, okay, that's what time it's on. Okay. All right. It was serious, man. And how those guys played, I mentioned Odell Beckham Sr. That's one of the reasons why I always tell people that I played basketball, because I watched those dudes play football. I was like, I don't want that smoke. I'm going to go right across Maverick Drive over there to the gym, get a bang out of life, and that was my deal. Because I saw what those cats were doing, and I'm like, man, but it was this subculture that I thought was a subculture, and it just got ingrained in everything. Everybody was in it, man.
Yeah, that is unbelievable. Yeah, because just reading the book, and just like you said, it's not about being happy. It's about winning. And like one of the themes I took away from the book was all the grown-ups are telling all of these high school football players, this is as good as it's going to get.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like the goal
You're
is
the hero.
Yeah. They said
You're
the
a
goal
celebrity.
is for you to play college football or go to the NFL. Like at Odessa Permian, they were like, I don't know, maybe 2 guys played Division I football, but they were like, these guys play at Permian and then they go work at HVAC.
Yeah.
And then when those 35-year-olds will tell you the story about how they took charter flights when they were 17.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting there and I'm reading this book, and I played on Friday night, but this is in Connecticut, right? Like no one really cared. Like we're just playing to play.
It's a lifestyle.
It was just like, we all play football. let's just go play. Like in Texas, I feel like you guys had programs. In my team, we just had a team.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey,
Yeah.
we'll get August 1st. We'll see you guys at the high school. Not like off-season training or anything like that, and fundraisers for, road games or whatever. And so, I just wanted to get your guys' take. So that was enlightening. So thank you, because that book is just, to me, I was like, oh my gosh. I watched the movie first, and then just like the tragic story of like a Booby Miles.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we see
Yeah.
how they just completely disregarded him and basically left him for dead almost, in a way, where it was just like, man, hey, use his big black behind to
I
run
was
the
about
football.
to say, burn him out.
Yup.
Used him up and burn him out. And that was it. Once you were no good for him no more, that was it.
Yep.
Left you on the side of the road like trash, like yesterday's trash.
They sure did. And it was so prevalent because it was a majority white school
Mm-hmm.
and a white team. So obviously he stood out. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this book is, I was like, I just saw the movie and I was like, oh man, this is insane. So
Yeah.
Everybody asked that question, man. Is it
mhm.
really like that? Well, the first thing a lot of people ask, do y'all all have horses and cows down there? And then the second thing is,
Where's the cowboy hat?
Yeah, where's your cowboy hat? And, it's like, well, man, I ain't got no horses and cows, man. So there's that. But they always ask about that. Was it really like that? And I'm like, yep.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
I promise you, stuff that wasn't in the book and not in the movies is, if anybody is around, they got stories for you that didn't make the cut. It would be really hard to believe.
Oh, facts.
Yeah.
I'm so, also speaking of Carter High, I watched, they did a 30 for 30 on the Carter High team. And one of them signed a letter of intent in a hot tub. I'm just like, what is going on? So I used to work when I was at the mothership, ESPN. I used to work as a board op for Bomani Jones.
Okay.
And so
Okay.
he was always
Oh,
my,
Bomani, he from Houston, right?
yeah. Mm-hmm. He was always my liaison for anything Texas, especially Texas high school football. And he was like, it's just a different animal.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, you just won't know until you're from here. I have family. We went out to I have family right outside of Houston in Missouri City.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's
So we
where
went
I
out.
live.
Yeah. First, I just realized how damn big Houston was.
Yes.
Yes. You drive 2 hours and you're still in Houston.
We're like, damn, I'm like, this is, they were like, yeah, this is the South Side. I was like, my God, we're still in Houston. So I was like, damn, this is ridiculous. I was like, man, y'all love these UGK guys. This is like 1998. I was like, damn, man, they love. I was like,
Yes, sir.
I was like, man,
They
they
right there
love.
from PA.
It was like, man,
Port Arthur.
they love this guy named Fat Pat. And it was like,
Yes, sir.
so, yeah, but thank you guys, because Friday Night Lights was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Shoot, man, more about you. What's the top 5 songs on your playlist right now, my G?
Ooh, that I'm just playing.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. I always want to give this to people, like, what's the top 5 on your playlist right now? Because I already know I'm not going to ask you what's your top 5 all time. That's just too impossible to try to come up with.
All right. You know what? Let me look in my. I'm about to look at my phone right now. Hold on. The System, Don't Disturb This Groove.
That's a great song.
Yeah. Oh my God, that is a yeah.
You can't go wrong with that.
Mm-mm.
That production.
Yep.
is
Drew
everything.
Hill, In My Bed, the original.
Come on, you sir.
Oh.
That was my high school days on that one.
These Walls by Kendrick Lamar.
K-Dot, gotta have some K-Dot in there.
Yep. Hold on. Oh, Tip Drill by Nelly.
That's the curveball
Yes,
right there.
sir.
I didn't see that one coming. I can respect it though. I just didn't see it coming.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
And sorry. Fairweather Friend by Johnny Gill.
Oh man, it's an underrated one there for Johnny G, man.
Yeah. Like
Yeah, I think I like. I mean, I like that one. That was a bop back then, but people really didn't put their hat on it that much.
no, it's one of those songs where it kind of ages over time, and it's somebody put on Instagram. Fairweather Friend is almost like it's a secular version of What a Friend You Have in Jesus. It's like that is very true. So
Man, that is so accurate.
yeah, so that's kind of what I got in my top 5 right now. What are you guys listening to right now?
Oh man. Okay.
And it's hard being, and I hate being the back in my day guy, but I am the back in my day guy. Like I really don't have anything like too current, as you can see.
Right.
So
Let me see.
The back of my day guy.
Okay.
I'm actively fighting against being the get off my lawn guy. Right.
All right.
So I think one is okay. The other one I'm trying not to.
Okay.
Get off my lawn. Nothing's better, and I don't want to hear anything else. And stuck in time. But
okay.
So let me see.
You got yours pulled up now?
Yeah, I got mine pulled up. I got a little bit of chicken fried from Zach Brown.
Okay.
This song called Nomad by Zion T. Let me see. That's off of the Shang-Chi soundtrack, which is okay. So since like 2021, I have been on a Korean music binge. I'm not going to lie. Huh?
K-pop?
Not even just K-pop. I mean, they got K-R&B, K-rap, and they got some bangers coming out of South Korea, man, for real.
So there's this joint called Standing Next to You.
Okay.
I'll send it your way, and it is bang, like right. I don't want to call it just like K-pop because that's all I know. But it's
right.
Oh, it's K-R&B.
They got this one dude named Ho Jin, man. He's dope. BRB, they're dope. Man, they got a couple of groups. But going back to my list, The Emptiness Machine by Linkin Park, that's still a banger for me. Day and Night by Kid Cudi, that's hitting right now too.
Okay.
Let me see. Oh, and BRB Saint. That's another one that's hitting for me.
Okay.
Right after that is This Is America. Childish Gambino.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh, that is
Young Donald Glover.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That is super funny. Hold on, guys. One second. I just walked into the house. I'm sorry, I'm talking to my wife right now. Hey, they listen to K-pop and K-R&B. I said those. I was like, man, they have. I told them. I said I'm gonna send them Standing Next to You. Sorry, guys.
No, go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah, man. I mean, like I said, my son and I, we talk about it. People ask us, what's your favorite kind of music? And I'm just like, good. Anything that's good, I'm listening to it. So, I mean, I love me some country, of course. I love me some hip hop and some R&B, but man, I'll throw some K-pop. I'll throw some grunge, not grunge, but alt music, alternative sometimes in there, man. I'm just a fan of music, period. No matter what era, 80s, 90s, 70s, 60s, 2000s, bring it. I'm loving it.
Oh yeah, and it's funny. Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B came out with WAP, and we were like, me and my wife were like, oh my gosh, what is this filth? like, he doesn't know good music. And then Shake It Fast, the unedited version came on by Mystical. And I was like, oh my gosh, whoa.
we got no room. Room.
I can't even judge these kids.
Rump Shaker.
Look, I just told you about Tip Drill.
Right. We got no room to talk, man. I mean, shoot. Color Me Bad just said it straight up. I want to sex you up. I mean, we talk about WAP. Can't believe they put that filth out there. No.
That's the get off my lawn speech.
Yes, it is.
So what I try to say is, that ain't my thing. I'll leave it right there.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you go back and if you go to Genius and just get lyrics from some of those songs you were listening to, I'm like,
boy, come on.
This is crazy.
Like, I don't want to sit there, I said filth, floor, and filth. I can't judge these kids like that because, I was in high school in the late 90s, early 2000s. I was like, nah, Mystical and Nelly. I was like, look, BT Uncut. I said that was a real thing. Like, oh, why are you so tired?
Remember that one dude we would send back and forth to each other on IG, who would always talk about, you listen to the music and then you finally realize what the words were, and then you have this reaction to it, be like, I can't believe they just said that.
Yo, it's my man with the dreads.
Yes. Old dude with dreads. I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Oh my god!
One group that used to always that got me whenever I grew up and started really listening was Belle Biv DeVoe. Man, they will put some lyrics out and they will put a song out, and you actually pay attention to the lyrics, and you're like, can't believe my mom let me listen to this. I'm like, no. Mom didn't let me listen to this. I snuck around and listened to this. She knew what she was doing.
I mean, look, when the rhyme starts backstage, underage.
Right? Backstage, like, underage, how you doing?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Now you take the finger and you like, let me slide that back, bro.
Yes. Yes.
Man.
Who said backstage, underage, adolescent? Like, he just making it look, underage and adolescent. Just to let you guys know, this is what I'm dealing with here. I'm like, you ain't gotta stand on it, bro. I mean, we get it. She's a groupie. She young. You ain't gotta put it both down, man.
We gonna say it.
He gonna put it down there. He put it down. You said it. And then he finished it up with the J, the I, the M, the M, the Y, yo. I need a body bag.
Man, Me Too would come through with the people's elbow, and then if they were back there in the 90s, buddy, it would be
dropping it.
They would be slaughtering people on a daily basis. They'd have to make a show about it. They would clean up if you just go off the lyrics. And they do introduce that stuff in court if you get in trouble.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Oh, wait, I did have another, I know, top 5 questions are just, you can open up Pandora's box. Top 5
for sure.
Singers.
Top 5 what?
Top 5 male singers.
Male singers. All right. Prince, not Prince. Chris, you go ahead and go first because I took top 5 on my playlist. You didn't say nothing about yours. So you go top 5 male singers.
I always turn my homework in, man. So my playlist, I'm listening to Jeanette Harris. She's a sax player. Went to Boston College, by the way. She's from California. And she's got a song called Let It Flow on her album, Her Majesty. And I'm just playing that on repeat. I don't know what it is about that song, but I'm listening to that every day. Smooth jazz stuff. What else would I have been playing? Okay, that's weird. Everyday Struggle by Big, Notorious Big, first album.
Yeah.
Uptown Saturday Night by Camp Low.
Yeah,
that's one of them ones, man. October London, The Rebirth of Marvin.
Yeah.
He's fire.
Yeah, And the SOS band, Just the Way You Like It. I don't know how old that song is. It's got to be 30 or 40 years old. And one day I just wanted to hear it. I guess it was a couple of days ago. That and I got a whole bunch of songs by Alex Isley. Um, I love her
He's
stuff
dope
too.
too. Yeah.
Top five. Okay, well, top five guys. Marvin Gaye. I just saw that October London deal. So Marvin Gaye's got a male singers of all time.
Mm.
It's tough.
You know, I want to throw I want to throw Stevie in there. I don't know if this is just vocalist stuff or what.
I think he's an underrated singer.
I do too.
I do too. Yeah.
I think because all this stuff he does in the studio where he's got like 900 keyboards and they're like, oh, this, that. But I think he's underrated.
Yep.
I'd like to see Glenn Lewis go on tour and just do a tribute because I think he could pull it off. I don't really see anybody doing it. I'm like, yeah, and maybe the reason is because it's hard to.
I think that's a good call because I forgot about Glenn Lewis, man. He was like the next coming of Stevie as far as his voice was concerned.
He was the guy. I'm like, and he might still be the guy. No diss. I'm just saying. I'm like, yo, he got the voice for that. So I got Marvin, I got Stevie, I got Luther, I got Mike. I need a fifth guy. Do I like Teddy Pendergrass enough to throw him in there? For the sake of time, I'm going to stop it right there. I mean, we talk later on. I'm going to have like 4 or 5 new dudes if we talk again on Sunday. But that's my...
I'm going to go with Michael Prince because of his range. You got to put him in there. Freddie Mercury, that's another one I think is just insane. The stuff that he did with Queen was just beyond reproach. Let me see. Freddie, Michael, Prince, Big Luther. That's my mom's favorite right there. Who else? And there's so many good artists, dude. Guess I'd probably go with.
This is supposed to be.
I feel like I'm leaving somebody off whenever I'm going with this number 5 because I want to say, is that a Stevie or is that a Stevie or Marvin?
It's tough.
And I probably put Marvin in there, Marvin Gaye, and then have Stevie as my 6th man off the bench.
Well, that's good.
What you got, Prince?
I got Stevie. I got Luther. I got Mike. And 2 that are kind of off the board.
Okay.
I got Johnny Gill.
Ooh, I like it.
And this might be a real curveball. Cisco.
Really?
As far as a singer,
yeah.
Hand him a microphone.
Okay.
The Love Train remix that they did, that Drew Hill did.
I love that.
I was around some of my more seasoned saints. I was like, yo, that's better than the original. Man, I barely got out of there alive. I said, tell me why I'm wrong. I said, listen to the lead on this.
Mm-hmm.
How did you get out with your head still on your shoulder?
Right. I was like, this little lady's going to kill me. I was like, I think that might be better. Yeah. Yo, he's underrated. That's a good call, man.
It is, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I never would have thought Cisco, but man, that's a good one.
Like if you hear, like, to me, like in my bed, like I play it all the time. In my bed, like to me, that song is like the definition of rhythm and blues.
Beauty is one of those songs for me with that when it comes to Drew Hill. I live and die off of Beauty. Beauty's
crazy.
That's the first ballad one too.
There's
2 albums they put out. I was like, man, what's going on in the studio over there, Doc?
Yeah, that second album, what was that? Drew.
First one was Drew Hill. I think the second one was the one with Beauty on it. So
was that Enter the Drew?
Enter the Drew. There you go. Yeah. Because the third one was Drew World Order. That was
It was crowded out there, man. They had H-Town. They had 112. They had it was some killers out there.
Right.
I mean,
And like
Boys to Men was
Jodeci, can't forget about Jodeci and Shy.
Jodeci,
yeah.
all of them.
Boys to
And
Men.
that's a crowded time to be out there, and they were out there. I mean, but but I get it. We're not really saying Drew Hill. We're saying Cisco, but I get
Right.
that. I mean, where I fall short with them is the Tell Me video where they had them jumping around. I have.
Hey, you got adults doing that as punishment for the kids now.
Man,
They say, hey, give me 20 Drew Hills.
yeah, give me 20, man. Let's make it happen. Bro. You got to make your free throws.
Yeah. But it's
I wasn't feeling that, man, for a whole host of reasons.
Yeah,
maybe I'll stay off air. No, don't do that. That's the one strike against them. But yeah, Cisco, he underrated, man, because who can belt out those kinds of notes and those kinds of songs, man? He's on top of it. He's below. He's out there. He can,
like
especially
like Incomplete. Incomplete is really good. Like
I've been to some karaoke hours with people sing that, and I'm like, boy, it starts coming on. I was like, man, you better have your stuff together because that's a toughie. And it never quite goes that well. Yeah,
there's tons of. I'm looking at my Apple playlist now, and I forgot there's certain, like you guys know the song "Cheers to You" by Player.
Yes.
Yep.
What's the name of that group?
The Player.
That's right, Player. Playa.
Yep.
Cheers to you, man. That was cheers to you.
Yep. So they're in Drew Hill now.
Yep. They are.
They performed. They performed that song with Drew Hill now. They're in the group.
They had a song on that album. Timberland did that beat.
Now that's who they linked up with, Timberland.
Yep. Yeah, they were all part of that.
They were they had Static Selector doing most of their stuff, and then Timberland came on and did one. I can't remember what it was, but then when I was young, I try to play songs that people hadn't heard, and I pull that up. I'm like, wow. They had a gospel interlude. We'd sing that outside after church, like we were some broke quartet sitting. So I was like, that's interesting. That's an R&B album that they didn't really feel very spiritual to me, and they just threw that in there. Yeah, Player. Yeah. They on my list, dude. It's them, Jeanne Brownstone, and a couple of other groups. So it was like I really needed a lot more. But I hate that the industry did, or whatever happens. I wanted a lot more from them. Player was one of them.
Yeah, Jeanne was that "Sending My Love."
Yeah. What's them other boys? Soul for Real. That's a group that I felt like didn't get enough. Didn't have the proper management behind them that they could have been better. Solo, I think that was another group.
Intro,
that's another one.
They're ripping.
Had a bunch of one-hit wonders during that time.
In the sky.
Yeah.
And Stevie's my guy, but I'm like,
yeah. They did something on that one.
Yeah.
My other guys that had that one big hit, Portrait, Here We Go.
Yeah.
Portrait, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Here we go. Yeah.
That's a one-off right
After
there.
7, that's another one.
Like that.
Yeah. After 7 had the cheat code because Babyface is their brother.
Yeah.
Right. Kevon Edmonds.
They should have even been in a conference with everybody else. I'm like, you got a hit on this.
Right. But
they still didn't do much there. Only did maybe 2 albums.
Really? They had some hits, man.
They had some hits, but I mean, still wasn't enough. It wasn't the longevity that I felt like they should have had.
Yeah. Especially as good of a singer as Kevon Edmonds is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what he did. You and 24/7.
Oh, when he went solo, yeah. Yeah. Man, there's a ton of like R&B like in the 90s.
H-Town.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
H-Town, that's another one.
I wouldn't
You know what song I heard today? They're not an R. I don't even know if they're an R&B group, but this is for my homies.
Oh,
DRS.
DRS. Gangsta League.
In that gangsta league.
Wow.
Oh, I said that music video is crazy.
Yeah.
My
And
miss,
it was crazy then. I was like, I'm young and this is still crazy, man.
yes, I took a 40 to your memory. I was like, man, all right.
Yeah.
Take a drink and I
Yeah.
start to think and I.
Yeah. I said, oh my gosh. Yeah. There are certain songs like Aaron Hall, Don't Be Afraid. You hear that song now? I'm like, I just can't.
No, can't do it now.
Mm-mm.
Can't do it now.
I said, my son was in the car. I said, let me turn this off. Mm-mm.
Look, Keith Sweat. You may be young, but you're ready. Like,
yeah, with the Me Too joint. Again with the Me Too's, man.
Yeah.
Some of these lyrics.
You better say you're of age.
Yeah, exactly.
Please.
See, when he said young but, see, that's the part I throw out in court.
That's the part.
But. You heard that, right? Ask him to explain that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was.
That's a crimson red flag on that one.
Yeah, flag on.
Yes, flag on the play.
Yeah.
Huge red flag.
Flag on the play. Shoot.
Man,
man, what's the favorite hobby that you got right now, man?
I'm trying to think. Favorite hobby. Right now, you know what I do a lot? My son just kind of he really got into basketball lately. So we just go back to the man cave at the Dan Patrick show. And we shoot a lot, but and then TV, I don't do much. Maybe some pick up basketball, just to always keep the cardio up. And so that's really it. And like I said, I got into reading because, like I said, when I read Friday Night Lights last summer, my son is a math whiz, but me and my wife don't think he can read. And we were just like, hey, you know what? Kids, I never subscribed to that do as I say, not as I do.
Okay.
So you know what? If I start reading, because I won't be sitting there with the remote watching TV as he's reading. I was like, so you know what, man, let me pick up a book that I love. And I know I'll read, and then he'll read also. And so I think that's kind of my hobbies. I don't really do much. I don't really have some type of, yeah, nothing. I don't do much. Nothing too crazy, I just try to, I told my son, I said, the girls like it when you can read.
That got him in a book.
I'm looking at him. I was like, this dude's doing math, 3 grades above his, his grade level. I was like, man, this dude can't even read.
You gotta work on that.
That's all right. His check ain't gonna be short though.
Right? But that's
They all hiring.
Yeah,
you can do that math.
Because my wife.
How old is he?
11.
Mm-hmm.
So we always mess with him. We're like, man, can you read? He's like, I mean, yeah. He's like, I'm about to count this money. I said, I hear that, big dog.
Yeah.
There you go. Count this money. I know that's right.
Yeah.
Hey, what's the childhood dream you hope to achieve, or have you already achieved it?
I'm living it.
You're living it.
Yeah. This was all, it's funny. When I was young, I wanted to be a sports center anchor, right? Because of Dan and Stuart Scott and, guys like that, Chris Berman. But then I loved the producing aspect and the storytelling behind, behind the games and stuff like that, and being behind the scenes. Because and I tell people this also that want to get into the business, I was like, man, everyone gets into this business and they want to be on camera. because that's what you see.
Right.
Once you do an internship or you go shadow somebody and watch, how a show gets put together, you'll see there's so many different opportunities for you to build a career in something else besides being on camera. And so, I always wanted to kind of do that as far as, being behind the scenes, but obviously it worked out the way it did where I'm on camera too. And so I get the kind of the best of both worlds where I don't have to be the main character, so to speak. And,
right.
I could just pop in and, say something somewhat amusing and, give some, Snapple facts on the show. So, I'm kind of, I'm living the dream. Yeah, pretty much. So I can't lie.
Man, that's dope, dude. That is dope for real. I'm glad everything's going good for you like that, man. Because I mean, it's not everybody has that opportunity to just be able to, like you said, just live that dream and obtain that dream. Because a lot of people they out there, they want it, they're looking for it, and like you said, they looking at the glitz and the glamour side of it because they're looking at the whole, oh man, I want to be in front of the camera. I want to be just like DP. I want to be just like Stuart Scott. I don't want to be just like Scott Van Pelt and everything. But no, man, there's a lot of it behind the scenes that the world is much bigger than what you think it is.
Oh, without question. That's what I always try to tell, anybody that I come across that wants to do this. And I said, man, there's so many positions in this business. And, luckily what the show provided me also is like quality of life, because there's some people that travel every single week. If you're working Monday Night Football or Sunday Night Football, you got to go wherever the game, right? And so, like when the show ends, my son, he'll be 14, and I'll always feel good that like his memories as a kid, like I was always there.
Yeah.
No, and I was able to do this. Because you have a son, you don't realize how fast time is moving until you have kids.
Yeah.
And then you look at him and you're like, oh my gosh, you're already whatever years old. Like, man, I remember when you were born or something like that. And, so.
Dude, I got a high schooler starting this school year.
Yeah.
Kid's going to be in the 9th grade, man. I'm just like, where the heck did this come from?
Yeah.
I mean, Chris, you got your boy, your oldest boy, he's in college.
19.
And you got a couple of others coming up right behind him.
Got 12-year-old, got that 9-year-old, but it happened real fast.
Yeah.
And it does because you got those memories from, you got these random memories from just some Tuesday and Sunday. You got all that in your head. You're just like, yo, that was just yesterday. Nah, it was 12 years ago, 3 years ago, or 15.
Right.
Yeah. That's very true. I try to tell people that, man, like take a lot of pictures and sit back and watch a lot of times. Don't be doing anything. Just soak that stuff in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I definitely, cause we're all around like the same age group. Also, I always try to do that. So my mom's a big picture taker, and as irritating as it is, I'm happy she's taking the photos.
Yeah.
Like now that I think about it.
You appreciate that now.
Yeah. Cause I remember it's like seeing a meme once, like take the photos cause one day that's all you'll have.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, not wrong. So, you just try to, guess live in the moment, but also, document those moments too, right?
Yeah.
And then, play as much 90s R&B as you possibly can so your children have a future.
Right.
Man, you know what? I'm living vicariously through you, Marv, because I played ball in high school, so I played growing up. So the thinking was, let's see where this takes me, man. Can I go play in college and go to the league? That's what everybody, this big is like, yeah, I'm going to the league. They're only hiring about 50 or 60 people a year. It's 8 billion people in the world, but hey, I'm going. That's what everybody's thinking. And it didn't work out like that. I got recruited and just got burnt out and quit playing. Right. So my story is a little bit different, but I thought about it. I was like, well, what do you want to do? And so my stuff was always science, computer science and engineering and all that. So I went into that. But, I always wondered, what if I just took that scholarship and went on and hoop? Just took 2 weeks. I probably need to just take 2 weeks off. I was just burnt out, but I didn't know how to deal with burnout because when we're in the country, there's no such thing as burnout. You born,
Right.
you work. Nobody talks about that aspect of how you need to take care of yourself. And so I thought about it and I said, man, you know what I really like to do? I'd like to do what David Aldrich does. That was my gig. I was like, man, if I could do that, I'd do that for 50 years. I remember thinking that I didn't have any idea how to do that or didn't know if I could get trained to do it or whatever. Like what you watch Tim Legler do on SVP, that kind of stuff. I didn't have what Stuart Scott had, God rest his soul. He's got his own quadrant, whatever, the shock jock types had. I wanted to be a guy to sit there and just kind of somewhere between Brian Windhorst, David Aldridge, Tim Legler. I wanted to do that because my friends, God bless Baron, he ain't threw me away yet, but we get to talking about basketball, and that's what I'm trying to do all the time. And I can watch it day and night. Mm-hmm. I can watch overseas ball. I can watch girls AAU. It is what it is. So I'm living vicariously through you, man, because I love to see that answer you gave is one I don't hear very often. When you said, man, I'm living my dream right here. I don't hear that a lot, unfortunately. So I'm glad to hear that, man. But I always wondered if I followed that through, maybe went to Northwestern, maybe I could have done some David Aldridge work. Who knows? But congrats.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, it's just one of just perspective, and my thing was, man, I'm really not interested in anything else. So when I was a kid, one of my aunts was like, they were talking about something about like Marvin being born in Germany, and they were like, oh, well, Marvin can't be president. My mom was like, Marvin's not gonna be president.
Man, you gotta love it when the mama give it to you raw, man.
Yeah, she's like, president. Like, she's like, maybe the He-Man Women's Haters Club, but not like the United States, like president. Like the way she kind of looked, there's like president. Who, him? Like, in which she was right. But I was like 13, but I was already that kid that was already like immersed in sports, and she knew, what I was interested in, and this is what I was always like really good at and what I had a passion for. And that's like I tell my son, try to find something that you love to do. Me and your mother will support you, no matter what, unless you become a teacher or go to the military. My wife's a teacher, so she was like, that's out. And that's out. Yeah, I was like, and my parents were in the military, so that from personal experience from both sides, we were like, that's out. I said, anything else, big dog? I said, you find be my guest. So that's it. Like, people got to find their passion, because most people get up every day going to a job they don't like, with people they don't like even more than they don't like the job.
Oh. Get out of my head.
Bars.
Oh, man. Quick question, man. We're gonna throw this question at you, man, and we're gonna wrap it up after that. Who influences you?
Like just overall?
Overall, yeah. Whether it be career, whether it be just life, who influences you?
As far as my career, you know what? I see where Dan is at in his career, and I still see like the hunger. And if he's hungry, like, I shouldn't be satisfied. His mantra is every day is a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And you have to go into it like that, where just because it's the middle of July and nothing's going on doesn't mean you can just, go halfway in entertaining a nation. And so he's one of those guys for me. Man. And a lot of times the people that I've worked with and I've worked for, like guys like Bomani Jones, I've worked for, and he's always been an inspiration. I worked on a show called the NBA Insiders on ESPN Radio with like Mark Stein and Brian Windhorst. Those guys they get after it. Trying to think.
Wendy is tough, bro.
Yeah.
I try to listen to all his stuff, man.
And Wendy's so knowledgeable and he's such a good guy.
Really?
I was about to say, he brings facts. He doesn't just bring that noise. Just for clickbait. He puts out their facts.
He's awesome, and I always tell people that don't know what I do or don't know that I know Windhorst, like, oh, he's only there because he knows LeBron. I was like, man, Brian Windhorst worked. That dude worked to get where he was at. And he never pretended like he was like BFFs with LeBron or anything like that. He was always close to the situation, and he always got like, you know what? I got a scoop from people inside the camp, and he was always on top of things and like super professional. And he's one of those guys I admire a lot. I think Dan Levitard is crazy, but I love Dan Levitard.
He is crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
yeah.
That whole crew is, man. I'm telling you.
That
bananas, man.
That whole crew. We met up with them in New Orleans.
That interview.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. He's super passionate. Also, guys that just really have, like a passion and a love for like what they do, and like personally, like people like my grandfather. He was just always one of those guys where, I think about him a lot. He died before my son was born, actually before I got married. And he's the one guy I wish that was still here to see where I'm at now.
Yeah.
Cause I was like trying to like find my way. Like I was engaged to be married, but I wasn't married yet. My son wasn't born yet. Like no damn pet. So I wish he was here to see where, how everything ended up for me. My grandmother, my mom, even my wife, I think she's crazy. She's full of anxiety, but
isn't she right over there? Like, did we hear her say?
She right here.
Oh, man, she got the right to be full of anxiety. She's a teacher,
man. The stuff you say.
Yeah. No.
What grade does she teach?
We teach 6th grade. Yeah.
That's the worst. She teaches middle school, dude. That's the worst. Let her have that anxiety.
Yeah.
Let her live in that anxiety, man. Come on. That is the worst. That is the worst age. Oh my goodness.
What grade? Or what age? 6?
Yeah.
Middle school.
Yeah. And
I'm back on that.
Yeah. No. She and I'm glad she's still here because she met me when I had nothing. I was broke college student, and then we've been in this thing together, and then my son, like, I'm super proud of myself because I always tell my wife, I'm the dad I wish I had.
Yeah. Yeah.
People that have like daddy issues, for whatever reason, and you're just like, man,
I've always wanted to deadbeat dad club too, bro.
Yeah.
Deadbeat dad club.
Yeah, you truly want to break that cycle.
Yeah.
Especially with Black fathers, where it's like, they're not around. And I think, in my experience, our generation, if you're like 40 and up, there's a good amount of us that didn't have that. If you see like today's NBA or the NFL, like, what they got? Dads.
Yeah.
You see all these dads. Like, with
you're right.
Like,
the dads are there and they've been there. It's not like one of those. Right. Yeah, it's not like one of those, you made it to the pros, let me step up now. And no, they've been there from the beginning. You're right. And I never thought about that. Case in point, Tyrese Halliburton dad.
Right.
Man, that is a great call. I've never even really thought about that until you just said that.
Like, if you see stuff like the 2003 NBA draft, and you see like LeBron and Carmelo and all these guys, and you see their moms there.
Right. Now,
fast forward to RJ Barrett, Zion Williamson, John Morant. Dad's right there.
Yep.
Been there.
Yep.
And so you see this generation where, like, even when I pick up my son from his school, and you just see just like the dads picking him up. And so I love the fact that you see a lot of Black fathers just being like just super active. And whether it's crazy Pat Mahomes Sr. or T. Morant, I mean, they've been there for better or worse. LeVar Ball, these cats are there and they've been there.
Yeah.
So so my son has always been a big inspiration, even though he always tells me, he's like, man, you're such a good dad, but you didn't even have a dad. How'd you become such a good dad? And I always take that as like, I'm gonna take that as a compliment, I guess.
That's a compliment, man.
That's the ultimate compliment.
Yeah.
That's one of those things where I'm just like, that's one of those things I look up, I'm like, okay, Lord, you can take me now. I've done my job.
Right.
If you can compliment me like that, I'm good. I must have done something right. Shoot, I always think about that same thing with my kid. I'm always, he'll say something like that to me, and honestly, or anybody will say that to me about my kid, about, like, hey, he's such a great kid and whatever, what have you, and you're such a great dad. And I'm like, they're like, what do you do? I'm like, look, I just got the kid, and I just made sure I didn't break it. That's all my job was. Just make sure you don't break the boy, because God gave me a great one. Chris, you said it several times about your parents. I won the lottery with my parents. I won the lottery with my son. I'll stand on that. I'll stand on that for the 14 and a half years he's been on this planet. I won the lottery on my kid, and all I'm trying to do is make sure that I don't screw it up.
Oh, yeah. Man. Hey, same. I always feel like whenever I come home and I was like, man, like, oh, where you going? Oh, I'm about to go home and see the family. Like, oh, you coming out? I was like, nah, man, I like them.
I like them. Underrated.
Yeah. Like you've heard me say it on the show when people are like, oh, don't you love your wife? Shut up. Of course I do. But liking her is way more important. Liking my son is like love.
Yeah.
Like, you love your family. Do you like them? I was like, I like 98% of the time.
Yeah.
I think it's important to say that, because I think social conditioning has folks defaulted to say, oh, these kids, or fill in the blank, something passive aggressive, something negative that's accepted. And I don't think that's the route we need to keep taking. I mean, I think
Speak on that.
you need to speak, you know, in a way where you're honest, but you got to realize the blessing that you have, man, when you got a kid that's there. Most of us can attest to them being healthy, generally speaking. That's generally what's going on. Your kid is okay most of the time. And to run around here and say, well, they're so burdensome all the time, and that's all you speak, they can feel that energy too. And they can hear you talking. I mean, when they're 8 and 9 years old, they're recording. When they're 2 or 3 years old, they start recording. It's the Truman Show. The rest of your life, they're paying attention. So you gotta be in a space where you're like, I'm up in my kid. That's my one, and I see people freeze up, I'll be like, how the kids, man, how's it going? I said, man, my middle boy got me running around with this baseball and basketball, but oh yeah, man, it's right. I said, yeah, but they awesome, man. My boy is awesome. And they always freeze up when you do that because people don't say that enough. But particularly when you have black boys, they're going to get the other negative stuff. This is a country that's strung out on negativity. That's not debatable. You can say what you want about how great the country is, but it is strung out. It's so much of it in abundance. But you gotta build. You gotta have an encouragement ministry, and then you also gotta have an accountability ministry too. So, man, I can appreciate what you're saying. I don't want them to grow up and be like, yo, in some of those places you were hard on me, you didn't need to be. I want to make sure I'm balanced with it, man.
Right. Great words to end this song, guys.
Yep.
Really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, Chris, appreciate you rocking with me as always, my guy. Marvin,
Yes,
man, tell everybody where they can see you.
Hey, you can follow me at Marvin Tino on Instagram. That came from Bobby Valentino. I was going to be an R&B singer and call myself Bobby Marvintino. So you can follow me at Marvintino. Follow me on Twitter, Prince Marv 13. You catch us on the Dan Patrick Show every single day from 9 a.m. to noon. Fox Sports Radio. Check it on your podcast. We stream on Peacock. We out here.
Yes, sir.
Check the
All right. Yes, sir. That's right. That's right. All right. When you see us on YouTube, like, subscribe, share with everybody. You follow us on Instagram and on TikTok at Okay, So Hear Me Out _podcast. Prince, appreciate you once again, my guy. Big circle. Yeah. Always good linking up with you, my guy. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Peace, love, prayers. And as always, make a great day.